The Friday Morning Rant with Shane Halfyard contains foul language, adult humor, adult themes, satire, humor, and pretty much that isn't PC will probably show up here. So if you're not into that, Jack, then piss off. You're on the wrong podcast. This is the Friday Morning Rant. It is Friday, October the 4th, 2019. Wow, this year's going by quick, isn't it? Holy hell. It's like 12 weeks till Christmas. Shit. It's the most expensive day of the year. Oh my god, it's hilarious how fast time goes by. You know, like when you're a kid, it takes forever. You're like waiting and waiting and waiting. Oh my god, you start that countdown at like September. Christmas is coming. Because you associate fall and winter, and then you just keep, and you just can't wait. So I was watching, not watching. I'm working on becoming a writer. It's something I've been wanting to do since I was, in high school. And I never really had the courage to submit anything or try to get anything published or self-publish. But I've decided to commit to it, and I've been working on it, like a lot. So while I'm working on that, I listen to, music on YouTube. And sometimes I'll hit a playlist like, 90s and 2000 hits kind of thing. And it'll be like 3 hours of music, and I'll hit on that. And then I go and sit on my couch and write. I'm going somewhere with this. Just, bear with me. So I'm listening away, I'm writing, and then I heard a song I hadn't heard in, years. Because, it's just not something I went looking for. And it was called Pretty Fly for a White Guy by Offspring. And I was like, I don't remember seeing this music video, but I probably did. But at the time, I didn't remember seeing it. So I walked up and sat at my desk and started watching the video. Right? And then I went, oh yeah, I remember this video. And I remember, I think I was 19 or 20 when that came out. I think. I might have been a little older. Could have been early 20s. I can't remember what year it came out. But anyway, so I could have been in my early 20s. So we'll say between 19 and 24, right? Anyway, so back then I am laughing at the guy. I'm like, oh my god, he's such a poser. He's such a wannabe. They're so funny. They got a lot of wiggers right. I think that's hilarious because. A lot of guys that I knew, there was a handful of white guys that were trying to be, black guys and talk street and all that jazz. And, I thought they were hilarious back then. And I still, I probably would still think they're hilarious now. But anyway, then I actually watched the video, right? I said, I'm just going to take this from the beginning and watch it. And, back then I thought this guy was such a loser. Like the actor, the character. I know it's not a real person, folks, but I'm just saying the character was such a loser in this music video. But you know what? If I was 19, I probably would have wanted to hang out with this guy. Because everywhere he goes, there's hot chicks yelling, "Give it to me, baby." Okay? I mean, gorgeous girls swinging their butts in his face, shaking their boobs around, and he's just like, aha, aha. And I'm like, yeah, every black guy and Latino in this video wants to kick his ass and beat the shit out of him. But every time he stops his car, these girls are walking up to him, yelling, "Give it to me, baby," wiggling their ass in his face, sucking on lollipops. No matter where he is, these chicks show up. And I'm like, holy hell, he's like the Fonzie of the Wiggers. Oh my god, I just dated myself a little bit. Nah, I don't really date myself. For those who don't know, the Fonz is from a TV show called Happy Days. I am not that old enough to watch Happy Days when it first came out. I watched Happy Days when it was on syndication on the CBC when I was like 5 years old. So, I'm not that old. Yeah, so I'm like, Man, this kid's got it all worked out. You know, he pretends to be a black dude. The Latinas and the other chicks all want him, probably because they know that even though he has kind of a idiotic attitude, he's safe. They could probably get him to do anything they want. So, you know, he's got it going. And plus, he can afford this lowrider car that bounces and all that shit. You know, he can afford all the gear. So they're like, you know, hey, you know, he's kind of goofy looking, but he's probably got money, and I could probably control him. And that could be it. I don't know. I'm just saying. I judged this guy poorly when I was a kid. He's obviously got more game than me. Oh, hell. So my wife and I are watching this show called The Good Place. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, it is a show about this young woman named Eleanor, and she dies. She ends up in, you know, heaven, called The Good Place. It's a small town of like 350 people or something like that. So, excuse me, sorry. So, they tell her what a great life she lived, and that's why she's there, that she defended the downtrodden. She stood up for people's human rights. She was always out traveling the world, saving people. And she was a lawyer. Well, then she meets her soulmate, a man named Chidi, who is an ethics professor. And when the architect leaves, I think his name is Michael. When Michael leaves, she says, Chidi, I need to ask you something. As my soulmate, will you stand by me no matter what? He goes, I will, yes. I will do anything to keep you happy and safe. You promise? She goes, I promise. And she goes, good, because I didn't do any of that stuff and I don't belong here. So, he then, since he's an ethics professor, takes upon himself to try to teach her, you know, moral ethics. And she makes this friend named, I think it's Tahani, this beautiful girl from England who was of Indian ancestry. And she's tall and very pretty. You know, in real life, this chick was obviously probably a model at some point because this girl was gorgeous. And but in the show, she raised like $60 billion for charity, and that's why she's in heaven and blah blah blah. Anyway, Eleanor becomes this chick's best friend, right? But she's not really her best friend. But Tahani gives her a plant. She brings over a plant and gives it to her. And now this plant is like a representation of their friendship. The more Eleanor is mean and hateful towards Tahani, the plant it starts to wither, starts to fall apart, starts to die. Well, Eleanor goes to Tahani's place. She's talking to her. When Tahani leaves the room, Eleanor goes snooping. She finds Tahani's diary. She takes it and she runs with it. She leaves the house with it. Because in her mind, she tells Chidi, it's his name. She tells Chidi that she is going to read this diary, find out all the horrible things that Tahani's really done, and use it to blackmail her and prove that she doesn't really belong there either. And then you hear this crackling noise, and then they pan to the plant, and the plant is bursting into flames. It's just shooting, nearly hitting the ceiling. And that just cracked right up. I'm pretty sure that's not a good sign of their friendship. It's a dry humor, but me and my wife really enjoyed it. Well, see, we were watching A&E Cold Case Classics on Netflix, and we don't want to go to bed after that, after seeing that, because some of that stuff's pretty brutal. So we put up on that comedy, watch a couple episodes of that, and then, you know, there's some balance in our life, right? We watch something educational yet terrifying, and then we watch something that can relax us, you know. I recommend it. It's called The Good Place. If you haven't watched it, check it out. And no, they're not sponsoring me, but if anybody from The Good Place is listening and you want to sponsor me, you want to give me a little money, hintity hint hint hint, I won't say no. Like, I'll be like, well, you don't have to, but I'll take it. In fact, anybody wants to sponsor me. You know, if Dale'sNippleClamps.com wants to sponsor me, I'll take it. I don't have enough listeners to warrant a sponsor. I know that. I'm just busting balls. Anyway, last week I spoke about why men cheat and if they still love you if they cheat. Okay? And during the article I read on that subject, they mentioned that women cheat just as much as men. So I found that interesting, and I decided, well, I can't bash only the men and only bring insight only to the men. So I've decided to read an article. Well, the highlights of the article. I'm not going to read the whole article. It's a huge article. But it is an article in Psychology Today. And it was written August 2018. So it's a fairly, recent article. Excuse me. And the author of this article was Robert Weiss, and he's a Ph.D. And I've read a few of his other articles before. He's quite insightful, quite smart, smarter than I am, that's for sure. And I decided to share, it's called The 7 Key Reasons Why Some Women Cheat. Now, this article is, quite in-depth, and I'm going to get to the 7 points that he talks about, and then I am going to give my opinion on why some I agree with or don't agree with, or how some of these things can be solved. Generally, you're going to find out that most of these problems can be solved with communication. All right? But we'll get into it. All right, number 1, they feel underappreciated, neglected, or ignored. They feel more like a housekeeper, a nanny, or financial provider than a wife or girlfriend. So they seek out external situations that validate them for who they are, rather than the service they perform. Now, I can see that, because you see, I think men feel that way too. I think both men and women feel that way. Like, I knew this man, and he got a divorce after a 20-year marriage. And he was talking to me about how, she was the stay-at-home mom, and he just felt like he was just an ATM machine taking care of all the bills. Now, that's not why they got divorced. He was just telling me one of the things that he was feeling. I won't go into why they got divorced. I'm not going to air his business. I'm just going to say that part. And I imagine women feel the same way, because I imagine that when hypothetically, you're doing your husband comes home and the meal's ready, and he doesn't show any appreciation for it, or ask about your day, or anything along those lines. Because you see, women, their intimacy is different than our intimacy. For men, intimacy can be, a lot of men feel intimacy is more physical. Okay, like physical gratification from your spouse is usually a man thing, and everything else you don't really need to worry about, right? And we try to solve problems as men, and what we don't realize is that women don't always want us to solve it and fix the problem. They just want us to acknowledge that they have a problem, and they want us to listen to their problem, right? And then if they say, "Oh, what do you think?" or, sometimes you got to learn to read a room. Women, you got to understand that sometimes you're giving us too much credit, and you're thinking we should be in tune to all your emotions, and we should know when to give advice and when not to. And to be honest, what you should be doing is you should be saying things like, "So what do you think? How do you think I should handle it?" Give us a clue when you want the advice, because we're not going to know the difference. I know you have all these little subtle things going on in your body language that you think we should pick up on, and most men just don't do it. We can't. We're not wired that way. And once you've learned to accept that part, you can be more open about what you need, right? And talk about it. Now, you men out there, when a woman says, "This is what I need," that's when you're supposed to pay attention. Perk up and listen, okay? Because they're giving you a hint of what's going on in their lives and what they need. So, if you are a woman right now and you feel underappreciated by your friends and your family and all that stuff, right? Don't be afraid to say something. If you feel your man doesn't appreciate you or, isn't showing his appreciation, you need to take him aside and tell him that. Don't get hostile. Don't use anything to attack him with. You just say, this is how I feel. Look, I'm not trying. You even let him know. So, look, I'm not trying to attack you. I'm not putting you down because I don't know how you're feeling. You probably do appreciate what I'm doing, but I need you to express it and show me in some way. Right? Because there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with stating what you need. Okay? Okay, they crave intimacy. Women tend to feel valued and connected to a significant other more through non-sexual emotional interplay, talking, having fun together, being thoughtful, building a home, and social life together, etc., than sexual activity. When they are not feeling that type of connection with their primary partner, they may seek it elsewhere. Yeah, and I was just talking about that. Women, that's what a lot of women need. They need for you to listen and talk to them. All right? Now, here's something, though. Here's some advice, all right? Women, pick the times to talk, okay? If you want to talk to your man or your significant other or whatever, don't wait till 12:30 at night when he's about to go to sleep. Okay? That's the wrong time to do it. He is not ready to engage you then. Okay. That's what my wife will do. We'll be laying down, about to go to bed, and all of a sudden, she'll want to talk to me about everything. Her whole day, her life, all her experiences that day. And I'm like, what the fuck, woman? We were just sitting down at the couch for like an hour to 2 hours, and you didn't say nothing. In fact, you were falling asleep. And now, I swear there's like a switch on her back. As soon as she lays down, it goes click, and she wants to tell me everything. I'm like, you crazy bitch, I don't want to hear about it now. I mean, one time I was literally poking her when she was talking. She just kept talking and talking, so I'd lightly touch her on the shoulder. I'd lightly poke her on the other shoulder. I lightly touched her forehead. I lightly touched her chin, and she kept talking. Finally, after the 7th or 8th one, she goes, what are you doing? And I am looking for the off button. And luckily, my wife has a very good sense of humor. She laughed at it, and she let me go to sleep. But I told her, I said, it's not that I don't want to hear your conversation. It's not that I don't want to hear about your life. You are more than welcome to talk to me about anything and everything, during regular business hours. So now she does. But in the beginning, she was misreading something. When she would start to talk to me about whatever was on her mind, I would pause the show we're watching. She took that as I was being annoyed with her and was just waiting for her to shut up so I can start the show. But she came out and she said it to me, which was, remarkable because that took a lot of guts for her to do that. And it was one of those, it was like the first time we were building our communication. I explained to her that is not what I'm doing. I am pausing the show because I would rather hear her fully and understand what's going on than try to fight with the show and her. And I want to give her my full attention because I would pause the show, turn and look at her and listen to her talk. And now that's what we do. If she has something she wants to say, she'll start talking. I just pause it, turn around, and I let her talk, and and we chit chat, and we love that. Some other times when she's off during the same night, I work some weird hours, and her weekends are more like a Wednesday and Thursday type thing. So in the morning we'll have breakfast together, and she'll just talk about everything and anything. Which is, wonderful. We enjoy that. We tease each other. We Sometimes if she says a word wrong, I'll tease her about it. Sometimes I drop something or do something silly, she teases me about it. But those are all playful, teasing. We're not trying to hurt each other's feelings. And, I think that a happy home is built on laughter and communication, and that's what we're doing. And that's where the intimacy comes in. So, guys, if your woman is talking to you, turn off the TV or pause it. Listen to what she has to say. You want to keep her? That's one of the ways you keep her. She needs to feel validated, she needs to feel important, and she needs to feel listened to. Okay? You don't always have to understand what she's feeling. Right? And you can say that. If she says, oh my God, this is what's upsetting me, and if she tells you, she asks you, can you understand that, or do you get this? And if you don't say you do. Just hold her hand and say, look, I don't fully understand exactly what's going on, but I'm here for you, and I just, your feelings are your feelings, and you have a right to feel however you need to feel. And I may not always understand them, but I'll always listen to them. A simple little thing like that can literally stop her from cheating on you, because an emotional affair can be more dangerous than a physical one. Okay? And Facebook and online media, well, that's in a lot of divorce papers now. That's one of the reasons why they're getting a divorce. All right. They are overwhelmed by the needs of others. Recent research about women who cheat indicate that many women, despite stating that they deeply love their spouse, their home, their work, and their lives, cheat anyway. These women often describe feeling so under-supported and overwhelmed by having to be all things to all people at all times. And they seek extramarital sex as a form of life fulfillment. Well, again, this is all about communication, ladies. Right? If you're feeling that way, don't hint around. Don't just do something and expect your man to understand what the significant meaning of that is. Come out and tell him. Say, look, I am feeling overwhelmed and underhelped. I need help with this. I need help with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? I think the only time that can be to an extreme would be if, say, you're a stay-at-home parent, and your husband's working 12-hour days, okay? And then as soon as he gets home, you expect him to, cook dinner, right? No, that's your job, right? They each have two different jobs. The home is yours. Him bringing home the money so you can stay home is his. Now, on weekends, can he help you out? Of course he can. His days off? Yes. But on that aspect, whoever the stay-at-home parent is, this isn't just for women, okay? Whoever the stay-at-home parent is the one that should take care of the household on Monday to Friday. On their own. Okay? Now, the parent that comes home after 12 hours, if you have children, of course, should be spending time with the children. They shouldn't sit down, grab a beer, and watch hockey or whatever. They should sit down and talk to their kids, maybe help with homework if possible, if help is needed, and help put them to bed. Because that is family life, okay? And family life is not about having a selfish life, right? Because a lot of people, not just men, will justify, I worked all day, I deserve to have a beer and watch TV. I don't have to spend time with the children. They can watch TV with me. That's how we do it. No. Okay? Do you deserve to relax after work? Yes. Do you deserve that beer after work? Yes. But why can't you postpone the beer and the TV until after you put your kids to bed? Right? Like, why can't you come home, spend time with your wife or your husband, whoever's working, and also spend time with your children? When they get put to bed, then the two of you can have your own relaxed time for an hour or two before bed, and then go to bed. Like, what's wrong with that? Right? That way everybody gets a little bit of everything that they need. But so yes, if you feel underwhelmed and overworked, you need to talk about it. There's not, that's the main thing, and you cannot overstress. I cannot overstress enough. You need to discuss your feelings, and if you need to go see a marriage counselor, see a marriage counselor or a priest or a rabbi, whatever it is you need to see that will help you. Do it. They are lonely. Women who experience loneliness in a relationship for a number of, my God, say this again, Jay. They are lonely. Women can experience loneliness in a relationship for any number of reasons. Maybe their spouse works long hours, or travels for business on a regular basis, or maybe their spouse is emotionally unavailable. Whatever the cause, they feel lonely, and they seek a connection through infidelity to fill the void. Well, again, this is where communication comes in, all right? I'm going to tell you a little secret about men, ladies. If your man married you and you have children together, chances are he loves you more than most anything, okay? Because when a man gets married and has children, like a woman, he's given up a certain amount of independence, okay? A certain amount of freedom, a certain amount of, me time, as I like to say. And they don't want you to be unhappy. If you, like I said, tell him, say, look, I'm lonely. This is what I need. Well, can he stop traveling for business? Maybe he could. Can he stop working long hours? Maybe. Or, barring that he can't, he could go more out of his way to make the time you guys have together more about you, more about the family. Like I was saying, I work some crazy different hours. I don't get home till 10:30 at night. I don't really see my kids until the weekends. So when I get home at 10:30 at night, my wife stays up a little bit with me. Okay, my wife will stay up till, well, she doesn't go to bed until I go to bed, and I usually don't go to bed till 12:30, right? And then she's up at 6:30 doing it all over again. But she does that so we have our time together. And then on the weekends, she works Saturday and Sunday. So I make it a priority to spend time with my children, right? I do what they want to do, right? If my youngest, sometimes she has me to herself on the weekends. So I let her pick the pace in which we play. And there are some days, all she wants to do is sit on my couch, snuggle, and tell me all about her week. And just chit-chat, and I'll do it. Because you have to make the time for your significant other and the rest of your family. You just have to. Now, my eldest son, he's 23, almost 24. He doesn't come around me that much and want to hang out. But when he comes in to talk to me, I stop what I'm doing and I listen. Because that, in the end, he's still my son, he's still family, and he might need me once in a while. But women, ladies, if you're lonely, okay, and you're seeking an extramarital affair, either emotional or sexual, my advice to you, if that's what you're considering or if that's what you're doing, is to take a good long look at your life, weigh the pros and cons, and if you feel your marriage is worth saving, talk to your significant other, seek the counseling you need, seek the help you need, and go move on from there and see if you can salvage it. All right, they expect too much in their primary relationship. Some women have an unreasonable expectation about what time. My God, what is wrong with me? Let's try this again. They expect too much from a primary relationship. Some women have unreasonable expectations about what their primary partner and relationship should provide. They expect their significant other to meet their every need 24/7, 365 days a year, and when that doesn't happen, they seek attention elsewhere. I actually know someone that is like that. I will not say her name or his name, but I know all the details of their life. And this is how it goes, all right? First of all, she is an emotional wreck. She definitely has OCD and a few other mental illnesses. But how she handles things with her man sometimes works 12 to 14-hour days. He'll come home. And one time he goes, "How was your day, dear?" And she turned around and she goes, "How the fuck do you think my day is?" And I was only asking. And you see, right then and there, because she spoke in that manner, he'll shut down. He is no longer going to be receptive to anything she needs. All right? Anything at all, she's not going to be receptive. He's not going to be receptive to it, because she's already attacked him. She's already put him in his place, and she took him from spouse to an adversary. Okay? That's what she did. How she could handle that situation is much simpler and much easier. When he came home from working, because he knows that she is mentally ill, that she is seeing a therapist, and that is why I think he's hanging in there and trying to save this marriage, which is kudos to him. But when he gets home after working, his 12 hours, and he goes, "How was your day, honey?" She could have turned around and went and hugged him and said, "I had a very hard day. I'm so happy you're home. Can you help me?" And he would not only help her, he would want to help her, because she's expressing need for him. She's expressing that she needs help, and she's given him a problem that he may be able to solve. I.e., the help could be where this woman has some mental illnesses. Maybe she needs to take a long bubble bath to relax, and he could take care of the children. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But instead, she turns to verbal and emotional abuse, all for asking a simple question. All right? And that is the wrong way about it. Now, she may not have the emotional tools to do this yet. She is getting help, and I hope that they will help her with that. I really hope this marriage lasts. I really hope that they last a long and healthy life together, because they have children. They have all these things that could, potentially, it's not just their lives are fucking up. Right? But she's also probably having at least an emotional affair on him, because she has friends that he's not allowed to talk to or meet with, and that's a big red flag. And he really needs to put a stop to that. Pardon me. Right? My point is, regardless of the fact that she's has a disability, that doesn't take away from her. I don't know how to explain it. Let me get this right. It doesn't mean she can't be held responsible for her actions in life, especially because she does have an understanding of what's right and what's wrong, and she should be more open and my goodness, excuse me. And she should be trying to communicate her stress in a constructive and productive manner. Now, here's one that I didn't know, and this is very fascinating to me. They are responding to or reenacting early life trauma and abuse. Sometimes women who experience profound early life or adult trauma, especially sexual trauma, will reenact that trauma as a way of trying to master or control it. Now that, I've never heard of that. Of course, I'm not a therapist. But again, these are all things that, instead of trying to reenact it, they need to get the help they need. They need to step back and say, is doing this worth wrecking my relationship? Right? I mean, it's insane how people will not weigh the consequences of their actions at the time. It's crazy, okay? And all I can say is, seriously think about it before you take that leap. They are not having enough satisfying sex at home. Damn! I knew it, you frisky bitches. There is a societal misconception that only men enjoy sex, but plenty of women also enjoy sex, and if they're not getting it at home, or it's not enjoyable to them for whatever reason, they may well seek it elsewhere. Ah, you horny little bitches. I knew it. Last week I quoted a comedian named Ron White. And he says, I'm a pretty loyal dog, but if you don't rub my belly once in a while, I will jump over that fence. All right? So, and men, one of the main reasons why they cheat is because they're not getting what they need at home. Right? They're just not. They still love their partner, just like I imagine women who cheat still love their husband, love their children, love the life they have, but they're not getting what they need at home, so they're seeking it elsewhere and just banging out those orgasms and then going home and dealing with the family life. Well, that is a short-term solution, okay, to both men and women. That is short-term, not long-term, and in the end, you're going to wreck your marriage, you're going to hurt your family, including your children, if you have them. You might even hurt other family members who, have invested love in your partner, right? It's a big shitstorm that you don't need, okay? So, how do you fix this? Be open, okay? Be open. Any little thing your partner wants to try it. So long as it's not, illegal, i.e. like, animals or some kind of freaky stuff like that can hurt others or property, okay? Can hurt people physically, mentally, or abuse people, or hurt property, or, or yourself, all right? Well, yourself part can be kind of, because I know there's the BDSM community and they're, that's a whole new other kettle of fish. My point is, if you feel it's dangerous to you, don't do it, okay? But if you just feel like it's something uncomfortable, I'd say give it a try. Like, there is literally nothing I won't do for my wife, right? I could walk home or walk in the house tonight, right? And if she was standing there, dressed like the Joker, holding a bottle of Thousand Island dressing, and in front of her are two midgets juggling in jester suits, I'd be like, I don't know what's going on, but I am in. Whatever it takes to get her there, she just got to tell me and I'll do it. And it should be that way. If you're able to have sex with your partner, then you should be able to tell your partner what you need, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, right? And even on the little things that you may not enjoy. Now I'm talking like, minor stuff. Like, okay, maybe you don't enjoy giving blowjobs. Okay? Maybe you don't. But why not knock one out every couple of days or a couple times a month? Because he enjoys it. Same as men. Men, there's some men out there that don't enjoy giving oral sex. Okay, that's fine. But why not do it anyway? Because you have to put yourself out there for your partner. Okay? Like, you have to put yourself... Like, say, I don't like giving oral sex to my girlfriend because of this or that and the other thing. But she really loves it. And if you love her, and if you love satisfying her, let's just shut up and do it well. Like, I had this one guy, he was living with me for a while. And he was 18 years old. He had a girlfriend. And he came up to me and he goes, I don't know what to do. And I said, what do you mean you don't know what to do? He goes, well, every time I go down on her, she has an odor and she tastes like tuna. But I want to make her happy. What do I do? So I said, oh, here's what you do, pal. I said, when you're about to have sex, or you want to have sex, say, hey, let's go take a shower together. He goes, what? I said, yeah, you take her to the shower and you make a game of it. You soap her up everywheres and you let her soap you up everywheres. That can be a very sensual form of foreplay. You got that cleaned off, then you go to town. Okay? I said, another thing you can do if you can't keep getting her in the shower is, before you go to bed and go play with her, brush your teeth. Brush your teeth and brush your tongue, and that will eliminate a lot of the taste, right? Once you get out there. Now, he thought I was pretty smart. Yeah, he tried both ways, and he, it worked out for him. They were together for a while. They broke up because, young relationships, they don't always last. But it worked for him. It helped him out, right? Because if you love your partner, you got to find a way to make certain things work. Now, again, to a reasonable limit, right? Like, say your man's into the BDSM community and he wants to spend an hour whipping your ass. No, don't do that. Maybe try it once, and if you don't like it, you say no. And then maybe the two of you are just not sexually compatible, and therefore the relationship probably will not last. But you find that out, right? And you can be mature about it. You can say, look, I'm sorry, I can't give you what you need. Maybe you should find someone else who can. And you move on, right? But my point is, you got to be open to it. Try it, and that's what you tell them too. Say, oh, look, if this woman, if your girlfriend walks up and you say, look, this is something I really want to try. I don't know. What's weird? Furry. Being a furry. If you don't know what that is, you dress up like animals and, you fool around. Okay? And if she says, that's kind of my thing, I'm really into it, and if you really love this girl, give it a try. Just try it. It's not going to hurt you none. And if you really don't like it, you politely say, look, I'm thinking we're two different people and we can't make it. And there's nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong with ending a relationship if you guys aren't compatible in every single way that you need, right? You just got to weigh what's important to you and what isn't. There are some men out there, they love their wife a lot, their wife doesn't want to give them oral sex, and they accept it and they're okay with it. Okay? And there are some men out there that will say, no, I need this. Same as women. There are women out there who love oral sex, love sex in general, but they could end up with a man who isn't as sexually active as they are. Sometimes they can accept it and still have a reasonably happy marriage, and sometimes they can't, and they need to just break it off, and both are correct. The only wrong thing is when you take that mistake and step and you cheat, right? That is the only thing that is wrong. That is when your marriage is in real trouble. It doesn't mean you don't love your partner. It doesn't mean you don't love your family. It just means you made a choice that you might not want to do, right? And some people, maybe they can live with both. That's a whole new other kettle of fish. Morality-wise, it's not right, but I'm not here to judge that. Like, I don't feel it would be the right thing to do, but I'm not here to judge you or what you do, right? I'm just not. Well, that's my 2 cents on this subject. I hope I helped somebody out there. If you found this show entertaining or informative, please hit that like button. Share with your friends. I'd appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. I would love to make this channel grow. The contest is still on. If you want a chance to win a $25 gift card of your choice. All you have to do is 1, subscribe if you haven't. 2, contact me. Say you're subscribed or that you're a subscriber. And make a comment. Give me a show idea. And if I read it on the air, which I most likely will because I don't have a big fan base. So unless I get overwhelmed with hundreds and hundreds of messages, I will most likely read your comment on the air. And you can indicate that, like if you don't want your name said on the air, just say, I'll make up a name for you. I've done already for everybody so far. So if you don't want your name said, or don't even give me a name, just give me like an initials or a name you want me to say on the air. Right? But yeah, a topic idea, a comment, criticism. I will read it all. Ask me any questions via personal or social or political, and I will do the research. I won't just pull things out of my ass. I will research and then give my opinion. So to do that, all you have to do is email me at shanehalfyard@hotmail.com. And I will definitely look into it. Or you can leave a comment down below in the comment section. I read them all. So far I've gotten like 4 comments. 2 of them weren't very positive. I think I got a little more than 4, but not many. But I will read them, and if I say them on the air, then you will be in the contest. Also, everyone who enters, whether you win the money or not at the end of the month, gets a chance to be put into the draw for the $100 gift card of your choice in December. So keep that in mind too. So there's 2, and you can enter as often as you want. You want to send me an email every day, and if I read them out every day, like if I read all of them, that's every time you're entered. So you can enter as much as you want. There's no limit. And that's about it. I hope you all have a good week. All right, see you next week. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye for now.